Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Steve, and I am here with Richard Horn, nurse practitioner, owner and practitioner here at Sonora Rheumatology. If you've come across this video and you're on this website, you're in the right place. You might have been diagnosed with lupus and fibromyalgia, or maybe are just seeking a second opinion, or even going through some symptoms and not 100% sure what you've been diagnosed with or what you're going through. And so you're here at the right place, and I'm going to be speaking with Richard here, and he's going to be sharing with us some more details on looking at the symptoms and if you're a good candidate to come in and have a consult with him. Richard.
Okay, yeah. Well, good to see everyone, talk to everyone. Yeah, some of you might remember I didn't have hair last year, but now I've got hair again. Okay, so lupus and fibromyalgia, a lot of time they look for all the world the same. You know, they're joint pain, muscle aches, just kind of malaise, rashes, all sorts of, and depression usually goes with that. Lupus and fibromyalgia has no lab. There's no lab, and it's all just by history. Lupus has a lab, but I've come to, over the years, looking at this since 2009, come to believe that our labs are not wonderful. They're not perfect. It's an imperfect thing. I always remember this one young woman who was a bank manager, and when she came to me first, I said, I believe you have lupus, although the lab says no. And then when she got a divorce, we did the labs again, and there was the lupus positive. So stress, which causes inflammation, or inflammation from other reasons, dietary things, lots of sugar, lots of other things that are negative, can push inflammation up and turn on lupus and other autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases are on the rise in the United States much faster than the increase in population.
Are there other autoimmune diseases that are connected or can be connected with either lupus or symptomatic of fibromyalgia?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's fibromyalgia can be seen with patients with rheumatoid arthritis and also with ankylosing spondylitis, which is an inflammatory condition of the back. And so it's not always lupus, but the lupus expert, director of the Johns Hopkins in Baltimore Lupus Center, Michelle Petrie, who I highly respect, but she says sometimes lupus or sometimes fibromyalgia is beginning lupus, and even though the lab's not there, and so that's why I mentioned that young woman that I believed had lupus, but she'd been to other places, I don't know, and they told her she didn't have lupus, but the lab shows up when the inflammation is high enough, so.
What would you recommend for someone that has seen their primary care, maybe has gone somewhere, and is still struggling maybe with the same symptoms?
It's the treatment of lupus and fibromyalgia is a very holistic thing that really works. Just getting a medication or just being given an antidepressant plus some Motrin or ibuprofen, anti-inflammatories, that's not going to do it. That's just sort of trying to cover up the symptoms. You're not getting to the cause of it. And fibromyalgia, if you work at it, people can get away from fibromyalgia. If you look at the National Institute of Health, they say there's no cure for fibromyalgia. Well, maybe that's true, but you can certainly get to the point where you have no symptoms if you do it right.
Yeah.
So.
And I love that you said it's holistic in nature, and so besides just medication, lifestyle is super important.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that with your previous practice, you had great information on not just the medication side, but there's many other things that people can do.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Steve. And it really has, to be honest, it's been the patients that have taught me this. When patients make changes, improvement in their lifestyle, then they get better. And so I've adopted many of the suggestions of patients myself, and I feel better. So
Yeah, that's amazing. And so when you're coming to Sonora Rheumatology, you're not just going to another practitioner location, and I can attest to it as well. Is the bedside manner is so important and has been lost in the medical industry today, and I feel like that's something that you're bringing back, especially with your model, that if you're joining us, it's a concierge type of practice that you're really truly going to get the attention needed.
Yeah.
And I think in these conditions and this type of specialty is so super important for that attention that you're going to give them.
Yeah, that was why I chose this, Steve, because it's in rheumatology, because there's not operations and all kinds of money making things that physicians do. It's basically you have to see patients quickly. If you want to make a lot of money in rheumatology, you have to see a lot of patients, and that doesn't do well for patients.
Mm-hmm.
Because these two complex diseases, there's a lot of information that a patient needs to help him or her get better. And a lot of these are people that their life feels like it's on hold, because they just don't have the energy, or they're in pain. They can't move forward to
Mm-hmm.
goals and directions that they want to take with their family or education and so forth. So it's the physician needs more time, and it needs to be a partnership, because each patient is going to present differently and different things. Some patients can do a lot of change, and some have to take baby steps. I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's but that's all possible. I don't believe in one way fits all. It's
Yeah,
all very different.
100%.
Yeah.
And with the consultation, can you share with us a little bit what a patient could kind of expect with a consultation, just coming in to see you with an initial consult?
Yeah, well, I'd want to know, how long they've been dealing with this, and was there an event? Sometimes there's an event, maybe, some event in their life that either a divorce or, which is sometimes can be, really. Some divorces are quite vicious and really
Mm-hmm.
very highly. They're always emotional, but some are worse than others. And but often it's an event, and then sometimes it's just out of the blue. I know I'm thinking of Dr. Brooke Goldner, who's wrote the book Goodbye Lupus. She was fine at 16, running track or something. And then one day she woke up and her joints were stiff and so forth. And so it can come out of the blue like that. But we want to know a little bit of the history, and then we always want to. I've found over the years a couple of kidney specialists who I really trust, because in lupus, if we find that it is lupus, then you want to make sure the kidneys are okay, because that is the most dangerous part of lupus, it can. There's a lot of things going on that many physicians are not aware of, but there's a lot of research being done on how the body can heal itself. And that's what I've been focusing the last few months of not working, looking at all these things, other possibilities of how we can help patients. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And so when you get connected here at Sonora Rheumatology and you get your initial consult, there's quite a wealth of knowledge and information that Richard's going to be able to provide for you. And so we really truly want to encourage you. So down below, you're going to be able to see the graphic that we've just placed on the screen. And we're going to have a number that you can call or text. You can call or text in order to schedule your consult, and this is going to be direct contact to Richard directly, and so he'll be able to get you set up, answer any questions for you, and get you in the process. Also on the website, you're going to be able to see, we're going to have some options for you to be able to sign up for the concierge practice itself. And I think it's a wonderful system that you put into place, and I think it's going to be a wonderful practice to be able to help people in the area that they need.
Sure, I'm looking forward to helping as many people as possible.
Yeah, thank you for being with us, and make sure you connect. Make sure you call for a consultation or a second opinion. I know Richard's going to take great care of you. Have a great day.